Hey guys! Welcome to my channel, and for you guys who are new here, my name is Addie, and I post plant stuff, so if that's something that you guys enjoy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, today's video is going to be about propagation. So, propagation is a really cool thing, in my opinion, and I'm sure it is with everyone else in this plant community, because it's how you get more plants for free. Obviously, there's a certain process with propagating plants, which I'm going to show you guys. You can't just chop your plant and hope it grows roots. It doesn't work like that. So I'm going to show you guys how it does work, and let's just go do it. The most important thing that you'll need while propagating is a pair of scissors. You have to be sure that you sterilize these before you cut into your plant, because it can cause like an infection or like bacteria growth in the plant if you use non-sterilized scissors. So I just use warm water, soap, and rubbing alcohol on these, and then you're able to cut. So we are going to propagate my scindapsus, pictus argyrius. This is a vining plant. Clearly, I mean, it's vining all over the place. So it's time to chop it up, and I just want the pot to be more full, so that's what we're going to do. And this propagating method, you can do this on any vining plant. It doesn't have to be strictly for this argyrius. So I'm going to go ahead and take a cutting of probably this one, since it's longer. Actually, we're gonna do this one over here. I don't know. Okay, you can't see that. So I'm just gonna snip it. Holy cow. I did not realize how long this guy is. Wow. Okay, so I'm just gonna snip it right here. I'm just in awe right now on how long this guy is. But here's the piece that I snipped off. If you guys can see these things, these are the aerial roots. So this is where the roots are going to grow from. So a few propagating methods are water propagation, or like peat moss, or not peat moss, perlite, or sphagnum moss. I personally use the water method, or I've been recently experimenting with the sphagnum moss. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these guys, and I'm gonna cut it at like an angle so it's a clean cut. Oops. I'll use a few different methods today to show you guys. I'll show you guys the sphagnum moss propagation method and the water propagation method. But I cut them into smaller pieces, like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my propagation station ready to show you guys. And one thing I do want to be sure that I mention, so when you cut your plant, you want to make sure that the part that you cut hardens over or calluses over, whatever you want to call it. That way it just avoids any potential rot in the future. So just let it lay out on the counter for a few hours for it to dry out. That's what I did. So the ones that I'm putting in the little container full of wet sphagnum moss, I'm going to cut them like this. And I'm just going to place them in there like so. And then I'm going to use cling wrap or plastic wrap. I've always called it plastic wrap. I'm not sure why this is called cling wrap, but whatever. You get the point. And I'm just going to cover this over the container like so, and it's going to hold in a lot of humidity, which is going to help with the root growth. Obviously, you want to check on it here and there, probably every other day or so, to make sure the moss is still wet, and to air it out. That way it doesn't get all moldy or bacteria starts growing in there. So That's another thing that you have to do. So with the water propagation, which I'll show you guys my cute little water propagation station. I bought this off of Amazon. I can include the link down below for you guys if you want to check that out. But with the water propagation, it's going to be a little bit different. So this is one of the plants that I'm going to put in the propagation station. So here are the aerial roots. So that's where I'm going to place it in the water. Now, obviously, I don't want this leaf being submerged underwater because it's just going to rot away. So with that being said, I know this may hurt, but not like physically or anything, or it might hurt you physically, I don't know, but you're just gonna basically chop that leaf off. This leaf is no good. You're not gonna be able to grow any roots from it now, so that's the painful part of it. But now that we have our clean aerial roots, I will go ahead and stick it in there like so. It's hard to not get the glare, but you can kind of see. Please be patient. This is not, or the roots are not going to grow overnight. You probably won't see any root growth for 3 to 4 weeks. That's when you'll start seeing root growth. And that's when it gets really exciting, when you start seeing the root growth, because it makes you feel like you did something right for once. But it just looks so cute. And when you're rooting plants, you want to make sure that you have it next to a really bright window or right under a grow light, because rooting plants, they need more than normal light, I feel like, to be able to establish that root system. But I'm going to go ahead and continue chopping these guys up, and I will show you all the plants that I'm going to potentially have. Oh, and another thing is, since I'm propagating so many, there's a chance that not all of them are going to grow roots, and that is okay. So it's not guaranteed every time, but it's always good to chop a few plants off. That way, if one doesn't make it and you have one that is, it's a win-lose situation, basically. So here is my plastic, or I should say glass container full of sphagnum moss that is pretty wet, and all of my scindapsus argyrius cuttings. And here are my water propagations. It has been about 2 months now since I recorded that video, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an update on these cuttings. These guys right here have been doing phenomenal. I have not had any stragglers. All of them that I put in here have made it. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the bottom of this container. If you can see all of those nice healthy roots. This plant must really like the sphagnum moss. They're pretty grown in there. You can see these roots right here. I don't plan on repotting these guys until this spring, so they have a few more months to thrive in here. The only bad thing with the sphagnum moss and rooting in it is the roots can get pretty tangled in the moss, so hopefully I don't struggle with that, but I'm sure I will when the time comes. But yeah, these guys have been doing great in here. And I'll go ahead and show you guys the two that I have in the water propagation. The one that I had in here did not make it, so I threw it away. But this is just a rickrack cactus cutting. And then these guys in here have been doing pretty good. Popping out a little baby right there. This guy back in there and try not to damage the root. Oops. There you go. And this one, I would say, is doing pretty good too. Those are nice roots right here. And these new leaves are actually new. So this guy has been liking the water. But I would say I mean, both of these methods have been working just fine. I mean, I only had one straggler with the water propagation. But I would probably recommend this method. Well, at least this method has been working just fine for me. Maybe you guys prefer the water method, which I can never go wrong with the water method, but I like trying in new things. And I don't know, I think it's just super cool how they can just, oh, this one's pretty loose. I wonder if I can take this guy out. There we go. Look at that. Well, I hope you guys liked this video, and if you found it helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you did not like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Either way, you're helping out my channel, and go ahead and leave a comment down below on which propagation method that you guys like.